Hi everyone, I hope that you're having a good weekend and everyone is well. This is going to be a really short little mini video to go with the grammar stuff that I'm starting to put up in the group, just in case you need a little bit of extra help or support. So the first thing that I posted into the group that I'm going to do in this video is apostrophes. Now, apostrophes are one of those, like, probably one of the most common errors that I pick up time and time again in people's work, and it is worth just, revisiting the rules. So I'd say even if you think you know what the rules of apostrophes are, it's worth going through them, double checking again, because this error comes up time and time again in one of the most common things that I'm picking out in people's work. So, the rules of apostrophes, there are two main ways that you would use apostrophes. And the first one, which I think is probably the trickier one for people, sometimes people to get their heads around, is possession. So I'm just going to make sure we're positioned so that you can see the board. So, possession. Possession means ownership. So it's a way of using the apostrophe to show that something belongs to someone. And the key is, as well, is to make sure that you're okay on this idea of subject and object. So, subject, your subject is the person doing something, the person doing an action. And your object is the thing or the person it's happening to. Now, the reason these are important then, these subject and objects, is that you have to make sure with apostrophes, you must make sure that you're putting the apostrophe and the S on the subject, not on the object. So I'm going to show you now, I'm going to clear the board and show you a bit more of what we mean by that. So if we take an example, it was Helen's birthday. I'm not sure who Helen is, but she's coming to my head. So it was Helen's birthday. Okay, so in this sentence, the subject is Helen. She is the one having a birthday. The object is the birthday. That is the thing being had, the thing that is being owned. So that means that our apostrophe must go on Helen. It mustn't go on birthday. It must go on Helen. And then obviously we have the S afterwards to show that ownership as well. It was Helen's birthday. Apostrophe must go on Helen. She is the subject. The birthday is the object. Let's show you another example. You get the odd names where they end in S. So, for example, James is the kind of classic one that always gets used, and so they stole James's glasses from James. So again, in this sentence, James is our subject because he is the one owning the glasses. In this part, he was the subject, because they are a subject as well. But in this part, okay, James is the subject, and the glasses are the object because they are the thing that James owns. Now, this, because it ends in an S, you've got two choices. You can either do that. Okay, that's absolutely fine, like normal, but it's also okay when it already ends in an S. It's okay not to put that S on and just leave it like that. Some people like that because they just think it looks, just looks a bit neater, a bit less messy. So that's absolutely fine. The other thing to watch out for with apostrophes with possession is obviously plurals. Be careful with your plurals. So we do something like the men's football game was cancelled. So now here, obviously men is plural. There's more than one man playing football. Again, the men are the subject in this part of the sentence, because the men are the one who will have the football, play the football. The football is the object, it belongs to the men. It's a thing being owned. And here, it's a plural, but the apostrophe still goes here, between the N and the S. So that's important because sometimes people might think, oh, it's a plural, so the apostrophe, doesn't the apostrophe go here? And that's not the case. It has to go in here. Okay, men is the plural word on its own. Men denotes plural on its own, more than one man. So you don't need to be adding any extra S's all over the place. The apostrophe goes here. We only say men's because we're showing the ownership of the football and the men. Another one, common, very, very, very common error. And let's think of an example to show you this. The house needed windows repairing. Now, this one's a bit of a trick. Okay, lots and lots of people look at this and they go, oh, well, it's got to go there, hasn't it? We've got the S, it's going to go there. But no, it doesn't, okay? Because it's different. We're not saying it is here. Okay, we are saying it's, we're talking about the windows in the house. The windows are the object, the windows belong to the house. But this is a possessive pronoun, it's. Okay, that means that it shows ownership on its own. It's like mine, yours, theirs. You don't need an apostrophe because the word it's already shows the ownership. Anyway, we know that the windows belong to the house. So that's a really, really common mistake to watch out for as well. The other example where you need apostrophes is contraction, which I think is a slightly easier one to explain and get your head around. Contraction. And this is where you make words shorter. Now, when you're doing your formal English work, obviously don't use contractions. Don't write don't in your essays. But obviously when we're talking to each other, we don't tend to say do not. We tend to say don't because it's faster. It's our natural pattern of speech. So there might be times like when you're writing dialogue or if you're writing something more informal, like, text or an email to a friend, you're going to use contractions. So, for example, let's keep using this example. Do not. Do not. When we're doing it with a contraction, it becomes don't. And the job of the apostrophe there is to show us that we've taken out a letter. So the apostrophes and contractions show that we've taken out letters. And this means that you need to be careful. Going back to the it's example, you need to be careful. Are you saying it's as in a possessive pronoun, as in something belongs to someone, or are you saying it is? So you could say it's a lovely day. And that's fine. You do need an apostrophe there because you're saying it is. But if you're saying, for example, let's keep with this one, the house had paint on its walls. Here, we're talking about possession, we're talking about ownership. The walls belong to the house. So there, no apostrophe needed. Okay, it is already showing ownership and showing possession, whereas here we're saying it is. It is a lovely house. Okay, so that's the difference. So that's one to be really, really mindful of. It's. I just always think, when I'm writing, if I come to it and I use it and I think I'm not sure, think in your head, am I trying to say it is? And I'm just doing a contraction, a shorter version, or I'm actually saying it's. I'm saying something belongs to that object, to that person or object. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Just a little guide into the right ways to use apostrophes. There is in the Secondary English SOS as well, there is a worksheet to go with this little mini video. So I hope that was helpful and I hope everyone has a lovely day and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye.